Hello everybody, it's me, it's PokemonTripHD. Welcome back to some more Dragalia Lost content. In today's video, we're going to be going over the A Dash of Disaster Part 2 Summon Showcase. Now this Summon Showcase actually only features one unit, which is pretty weird. I don't think we've gotten a Summon Showcase which actually features only one unit. Maybe the Akasha one, I'm not exactly sure on that part. But anyways, let's discuss this unit, I guess. It's going to be more like a preview and a slight should you summon type video. I do want to mention, if you are thinking of summoning, also let me just lock my phone. If you're thinking of summoning, you might want to wait till the last day so we get news on the next Summon Showcase, which is going to be coming after this. So you might want to wait till like March 10th or March 11th for news on that. We also have a digest coming soon, which is going to tell us news of potentially the next gala, with the 1.5 year anniversary news. Maybe there's a special summon showcase for that, etc. You never know. Also, I just want to make sure I am recording. Let me just see. Boom, it is recording. Okay, yeah, all right, just making sure. Anyway, so you might want to wait till the last day for that. And if you don't wait till the last day, obviously, go ahead and summon. If she's your wife, or you really want her, go ahead and go for it. But again, I do think you should wait till at least the last couple days when we have news on the future of Dragalia Lost. Now, with that out of the way, I do want to say I think Mitsuba is a good unit. However, there's a couple things to note. In this showcase, as it says right here, the roster for the Summon Showcase does not include the new adventures and dragons from the A Dash of Disaster Part 1 Summon Showcase. So, if you want to get Valerio or Nemes or even, I was going to say Popplio. That's a Pokemon. What's his name? Pipple. If you want to get Pipple, you're going to have to summon on Part 1 of the Summon Showcase, not Part 2. They are two separate banners. So you cannot pull any of the Part 1 units on Part 2, and you cannot pull any of the Part 2 units on Part 1. Now, I said Part 2 units because we're not really sure if we're getting any Dragon or if we're getting any 4-star adventure or anything, because they don't show us anything else besides this one adventure. So we might be getting somebody else. I just don't know yet. It's not being shown yet. So if there is somebody else, it's going to be shown on the day of the banner. That's going to be randomly thrown in there, kind of like how Pipple was. They didn't even tell us about Pipple, and Pipple is like the best thing ever to happen to Dragalia Lost this year. So yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's actually go ahead and talk about Mitsuba. So Mitsuba is a water dagger. Now, water dagger, unfortunately, for better or worse, doesn't really have too many strong units in that category yet. There is Orsum, who was good, at the early parts of the game, but he's definitely fallen off as of late. There's also Cleo, which again, pretty solid, but she has fallen off pretty hard as of late. And again, she's, I believe she's stun res rather than burn res. And also, like I said, just daggers in general. Those two daggers in specific, there's not really a third one that's that great. Those two daggers in specific are just not good in DPS compared relatively to their competition in water for matches like Hybrid Hilda or even Mercurial Gauntlet. You really wouldn't use those units. Like I can see a case for you using those units, but just why would you use those units over some other powerhouses in water, right? There's so many, okay, not so many, but there's a lot of powerhouses in, okay, not a lot. So many and a lot mean the exact same thing, Trip. There's a couple powerhouses in water which are just too strong to not use on your team, especially now that Zanefried got a Mana Spiral. He's definitely better than the daggers as well. So there's a lot of good units that are better than them. That I would just recommend you don't use those daggers. So hopefully Mitsuba can change that and actually be a good, strong water dagger. Let's go over her kit as a little preview and see what she does. So first of all, I want to discuss her design. Her design is amazing. I really do like it. She reminds me, I said this before, she reminds me of that girl from the regular at Magic High School or whatever that is. She really reminds me of the main female girl. I don't know if I haven't watched anime for like a year or something, but I don't know. She kind of looks like her, right? Is that just me? Am I the only one that thinks of that? She kind of looks like her, but I don't think there's any other similarities. I don't know. Maybe there is. Anyways, I won't sacrifice my culinary career for anyone, is what she says. Also, I want to mention there's a guy in the story who may be the 4-star on this banner. I don't remember what his name is, but he has like brownish hair, or maybe it's like brownish red hair or something. He might be the 4-star on this banner. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyways. The third of 7 scions of the Nanakusa family, owners of a famous Hinomotian restaurant. Her earnest, polite personality belies. I'm just going to say belly. I think it's belies. A fiery competitive spirit. This girl's cooking with gas. Just don't get between her and her dashi. Now, I don't know what a dashi is. Is that her sword? I don't know. Anyways, that's a pretty funny thing. They've been making these things pretty funny as of recently. But Hinomotian restaurant is interesting. That's an interesting piece of information. Again, I didn't read the event story. I had no time for that. Anyways, so this support unit it shows with her stats, she's more of a support-oriented unit. Let's go over her kit, though. Her skill 1, Chef's Special. Deals water damage to enemies directly ahead and applies, I don't say supplies. She supplies one of the following effects based on the user's current cooking stance. Sashimi stance inflicts frostbite. Tempura stance. Frostbitten foes take extra damage. Now, Frostbite is a new effect. I'm actually going to pull up its effect, so just give me 1 second to pull it up. Alright, so I couldn't actually find the specific Dragalia wiki page for Frostbite, but over here on Zanefried, I was just talking about Zanefried a minute ago. Zanefried's mana spell does actually inflict Frostbite, and over here shows, deals water damage to the target nearby enemies, and inflicts Frostbite for 21 seconds, and dealing 41% damage every 3 seconds. So it's a pretty weak type of poison. And actually, usually Frostbitten foes take more damage from the skills and stuff, which is what this has. Of course, Frostbitten foes take extra damage right there. So basically, you inflict Frostbite with your Sashimi stance, and then you switch to Tempura stance as they're taking damage, kind of like burn-ish. It's like a little bit of a weaker burn, but the enemy does take more damage from, like Tempura stance right here. Frostbitten foes take extra damage. So that's kind of what Frostbite does. It's a new affliction. It's brand new. Literally just came in the game like last week with Valerio and his banner. So that's Frostbite, and that's her first skill. Next up, skill 2, Hearty Helping, applies one of the following effects to the entire team based on the user's current cooking stance. Sashimi stance increases critical rate by 10% for 15 seconds and inspiration by 2 stages. Tempura stance adds 50% to the modifier applied to critical damage for 15 seconds and increases inspiration by 3 stages. Now, inspiration is, again, another new effect. What inspiration does is basically once you reach 5 inspiration, I just saw my mic, once you reach 5 inspiration, just like energy, if you get 5 stacks of it, your next skill is not going to be energized, it's going to be inspired, I don't know, I guess, but you're guaranteed to get a critical hit on that next skill that you use. So it's a pretty good thing. Apparently, it's actually better than Energize, since Energize is a 1.5 times buff, whereas a crit damage is 1.7 times. And of course, there's modifier applied to critical damage, which increases your crit damage again even more. So it's like 2.2 times, right? I think or something like that. So, Inspiration is actually pretty strong. I do think sometimes inspiration is wasted since you get a crit on that skill anyways, and if you're running a bunch of crit rate stuff, you're pretty guaranteed to get a crit. You're not guaranteed, but like there's pretty good odds you'll get a crit on that skill anyway. So I feel like inspiration is kind of wasted in that regards. However, inspiration is solid. I do want to say it's a good thing. It's kind of just tacked on as an extra. Don't think of it as like that's the reason you use this skill. Use this skill for either the crit rate or the crit damage. And the inspiration is just kind of an additional effect. Now, I think her skill 1 is kind of where the majority of her DPS is going to come from. I feel like you're going to have to use Sashimi stance and then, inflict Frostbite and then get your Tempura stance up right away, your skill 1 back up, and use your Tempura stance skill and do a lot of damage. And you're probably going to have to flip off every other time, first Sashimi stance, then Tempura, Sashimi, Tempura, Sashimi, Tempura. Probably going to have to switch off between those. Also, I already mentioned this, I think. I love these names, Sashimi and Tempura. I am a huge fan of sushi. I love sushi so much. It's like I eat sushi almost every single week whenever possible. So sushi is amazing, and I love these things. Anyways, that's what I think. I think her kit is good. Her skill 1 is solid, but her skill 2 I feel like could use a little bit work. Her skill 2 is okay. Increasing crit rate or crit damage. It is for 15 seconds, which is a somewhat decently long time. So she does have that going for her. And again, inspiration is there as an additional effect. So she does have that going for her. Hopefully it's not too high of an SP cost, since again, it's not a super amazing skill 2 or anything like that. So hopefully it's not too high. I'm hoping it's around 6,000. Even under that would be nice. And again, her skill 1, again, I'm hoping it's under 3,000. If it's like around 2,600, that would be solid for her. Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on her skills. Next up, her cold ability crit plus 10. It's pretty average for a dagger, but it's actually good for her because, again, crit rate really does synchronize with Tempura stance. Adds 50% to the modifier applied to crit damage. So that is nice. Next up, her abilities. She has an innate Flurry Strength ability, which is, again, Flurry Strength is an amazing ability to have, especially on a dagger where it's super easy to get your combos up. Rather than a blade like Nobunaga, where it's very difficult to get your combo up to 15. It takes, I don't want to say very difficult, but it takes a little bit of time to get your combo up there. And, some bosses, you just don't have enough time to do that constantly throughout the battle and keep enough time on your hit rate. Whereas with the dagger, it's super easy to do that. She has Burn Res, again, amazing for Hyper and Hilda. And combo time plus 4, again, super good that she has that, simply because that means you can dodge attacks and then come back and get your combo and not worry about your combo going away. Especially in Hyper and Hilda, there's a lot of attacks where you need to move out of the way and then go back to an attacker. Hyper and Hilda dives a lot of times in the fight. With combo time plus 4, your combo time is extended by 4 seconds before it breaks. So you have an extra 4 seconds to go back and hit Hyper and Hilda. So even if you're not, the number 1 tier, best player in the game, you can probably still keep your combo up using Mitsuba. Mitsuba simply because of this combo time +4. So she has very strong abilities that really synchronize well together, especially for Hybrid Hilda. Again, you might need to hide behind a volcano. She also dives a bunch. You can move out of the way and go back and attack her, and this is, it's really good for that scenario, for those scenarios specifically. The volcano dodging and the dive dodging. So she has really strong abilities. An innate flurry strength is nothing to laugh at. You even run like twinfold bonds on your daggers. So much flurry strength is there, which increases their DPS a bunch. Again, skill damage is plus like 40% with twinfold bonds as well. So she has a lot of potential to actually be one of the strongest units in the game, to be completely honest. Like, if she has low SP costs, and if you keep her combo up, and again, she has inspiration for the entire team. It's not just her, it's for the entire team. She's supposed to be a support unit. Remember that. She's supposed to be a support unit. So, inspiration for the entire team is nice. Again, that the entire team gets that bonus additional effect. Not just you. It goes the entire 4 members of your team, I believe. I mean, I'm pretty sure. It says blah blah blah. It says and you inspire. Wait, applies one of the effects to the entire team. Yeah, entire team right there. I knew it, entire team. Okay, so it does apply to the entire team. So she has a lot of potential. Like I said, a lot of potential to be one of the best water units in the game. Water's been getting very strong as of late. Valerio is pretty solid. Hunter Cerise just came out. Pipple just came out. Zainfried got his mana spiral. Lots of potential for water to be, making HBH super duper easy. And she's actually the only unit on this banner. And down here, they actually kind of explain how you switch between the stances. You kind of just tap right there to switch between the stances. And it goes, sashimi to tempura. So I believe this one is sashimi and this one's tempura, because that one looks a little cooked and this one does not, even though that's not, you would never eat a fish with the eyeball on it, right? I'm pretty sure you don't eat a fish with an eyeball on it. That's not sashimi. But anyways, it kind of discusses that over there if you want to read that yourself. But again, I think she has a lot of potential to be one of the best units in the game. Personally, at first, I didn't think your abilities were too special. Combo time, I was like, that's kind of wasted if you're a good player. But then I talked with Anarch about it on the Discord, and he actually told me, you can dodge the volcanoes and everything. So shout out to Anarch for that. I didn't even think about that. That's a very nice point. Especially in HBH, there's so many attacks which you need to dodge. So she has a lot of potential. Like I said, I just keep repeating myself at this point. But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think if she has low SP costs, like around 2,500 and like 5K, maybe a little higher than 5K, like 5.5K, that'd be okay. Maybe even 6K would be feasible. I think she has a lot of potential to be one of the strongest water DPSs. Again, she needs good mods on her skills. Maybe this one's going to have low mods since it inflicts frostbite, but Tempura stance, I fully expect to have at least like double the damage Sashimi stance has, simply because frostbite foes, they take extra damage. So those are kind of my early thoughts, and yeah, she's the only unit on this banner really. So pretty quick video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have a great day, and until next time, have a nice trip.